VR socializing is weird. It's not something I feel comfortable doing by myself. It can be so helpful to have someone there just to look at and go like, holy shit, did that just happen? Do you remember the 90s when you used to go into AOL chat rooms and have like random conversations with strangers? VRChat is that. And it's just saturated with this overwhelming, boring feeling. Like everyone is just waiting around for something to happen. And that's just how high school feels in my mind. Like when I think back of my best memories in high school, it's a lot of sitting around, talking, and hoping something or waiting for something cool to happen. And VRChat is that. So if you're nostalgic for that at all, you should absolutely get into it. But, you know, there's more to it than that. There's more weirdness and, like, surprise than that. But that is, like, the 90% of the experience of VRChat is just that bored feeling. And I think social VR spaces in general are like that. A 90% is waiting around for something to happen and kind of playing around with people. And if you like that, you'll love it. But I definitely didn't get into VR or buy a Vive to do the social stuff. I've tried a lot of it. Like, I've definitely tried Rec Room, which has been fantastic. Altspace VR, which has been weird and alienating. You know, all this VR socialization is outside of my comfort zone. VRChat is weird. Of course, there's a weird, lengthy tutorial where it teaches you how to navigate the world strangely, because nothing in VR is consistent. Every tutorial, every way you move around in VR changes so much from game to game that, like, oh, okay, no surprise that this one's weird where you're sending out an avatar version of yourself into the world. This was just so dumb. They also, like, offers you this opportunity to go into Help World. I don't know why I would do that. I don't need more tutorials at the moment. Yeah, so playing around with a friend, that meant switching out the headset. So I took turns kind of like navigating this strange world of VRChat, which is like there's a home world and then portals you can go through, and then you create portals for other people. So there's this Rick and Morty vibe of like portals opening up and then following people through portals and having random conversations with strangers. Now, what I learned very quickly, I was surprised, of course, by the young voices I was hearing, because this is a place for young people to hang out. I didn't realize you don't need virtual reality tools of any kind in order to play around in VRChat. I don't think they advertise that feature very heavily. Maybe people get that, but like in the name VRChat, I would assume that I would have to like have a Vive or Oculus or something, but that's not the case at all. It's totally just a WSD keyboard experience if you want it. And like, I definitely got to hear that experience getting called out by people when they found out I had a Vive, and it's very obvious because I'm able to use my hands. I think if you have the Oculus Touch, also touch controllers, you can use your hands. Of course, people that are working from a keyboard weren't using their hands in the same way, so they were like, oh, I'm just a desktopper, which was a funny concept. It felt very much like a Ready Player One type of world, where even within a virtual world, there's a sense of social status. So at the bottom, desktoppers with shit, onboard microphones. So you can change out your look with different avatars. Of course, you have this like starting set of avatars you can play with, but then there's all these other avatars, as we learned in an avatar world, you can change out. And like, what was funny is like, oh yeah, I'm super old. These are all weird kid avatars. Like, I don't care about being characters from Moana or, you know, all these different animes and stuff. I don't necessarily care about like taking on animated characters. I'm more interested in like just random weird characters. It was funny to see so many strange branded characters. So imagine you're in this world of branded characters. There's a character that like really stood out to me, and that was this guy with lasagna for a head. Yeah. And he was very friendly and invited us to go to the Great Lasagna, which it turns out is a club, that only serves lasagna and hamburgers, and has a stage and this weird statue of a lasagna man and his son. And it was like just wonderful to see the creativity that's possible in this world, and then be given a tour of it. You know, there's secret lasagna themed rooms. There's like a lasagna room we're in. It's like a rooftop world. We're on a big piece of lasagna, and then there's Weird Al playing La La Lasagna, and then these strange like Ten Commandments like structures where the rules of the lasagna world are printed, and then of course lasagna themed avatars. So why not? And it was just amazing. And then we went to the Pug together, and it was just fun to like run around with the lasagna guy. And then we went to like a weird comedy club space, and we were in the back area, like what would have been the green room, and everyone left for a minute. And then he said,
"Hey, friendly friend, I'm going to tell you a secret. You ready? Now that we're kind of alone. Listen, I'm Twitch streaming, by the way. Shh. What?"
it was kind of one of those Matrix moments. You're like, oh, this guy's super nice. He has a really clear voice. He's very funny. He's being deliberately funny to almost no one, it feels like, just me. Over attentive to details. And yeah, so it's Twitch streaming. And then, of course, like, got on Twitch, took a look at it, and there we were, you know, just kind of through the looking glass. Like, there's someone else perceiving us to their fans and so forth. So fucking rad. I don't know what you call that kind of meta experience where you're already in a meta social world and then someone else has like another remove from that social world where they're on a show and you're being streamed. And that's probably a pretty common thing for kids in this generation, to have that sense of like being on a show, like their life is a show, live streaming in some way. And so the people around them can know or not know sometimes that they're on a show together. And of course, he's recording, you know, for his Twitch channel. And then I'm also kind of secretly recording this for my vlog. So like there's a whole world of secret recording happening. And hey, YouTube, let's get on VRChat together and hang out. It's super fun and weird. I'm FriendlyFriend. That's my name. FriendlyFriend on VRChat. So add me as a friend, and then when we can plan around getting online together and hanging out sometime. It's super fun.